In a world where beauty queens are often reduced to crowns, sashes, and rehearsed smiles, there sometimes emerges a story so raw, so emotional, and so profoundly human, that it breaks through the glittering surface of pageantry. This is not just the story of a girl who won a title. This is the story of a quiet island girl who stood face to face with her own fears, stepped outside her comfort zone, and took the first step toward changing the world, not just for herself, but for her people, her island, and even the forgotten animals no one else dared to care for. This is the sensational rise of Aria Keilbach, the newly crowned Miss Earth Northern Marianas 2025. Stay with us till the end, because this story will not only surprise you, it will inspire you. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mr. Darkman TV for more true, shocking, and cinematic stories from around the world. I'm your host, Humza Sabir, and this story is about to begin. The warm Pacific winds were heavy with salt as they swept across the sleepy shores of Saipan on the day Aria Keilbach was crowned. From the outside, it might have looked like just another small island pageant, another glittering tiara placed atop another smiling young woman's head. But for those who knew Aria's journey, who understood the heartache and hesitation she carried beneath her poised smile, this was something far deeper than a simple victory. This was a triumph over fear, over doubt, over the quiet whispers that had long told her she wasn't enough. Aria Keilbach's story did not begin on a stage. It began in the shadows of the Boonie trails, where stray dogs wandered with ribs showing and hopeless eyes. It began in late-night conversations about plastic waste, climate change, and the silent suffering of animals who couldn't speak for themselves. It began with a girl who never dreamed she'd be called beautiful, let alone called a queen. At just 23 years old, Aria was already known among her island's small circles as the soft-spoken co-founder of Boonie Babies, a grassroots effort to rescue and rehabilitate Saipan's countless stray dogs, creatures many locals considered nuisances rather than lives worth saving. But Aria saw something different in their hollow eyes. She saw stories untold, pain unspoken. And she knew, even then, that someone had to fight for them. When the opportunity arose to compete for Miss Earth Northern Marianas 2025, Aria almost said no. The idea of standing on a stage, of being judged for her appearance, of facing the sharp stares and whispered critiques of strangers, it terrified her. Completely outside my comfort zone, she would later admit in an emotional interview. But life, as Aria was learning, rarely rewards those who stay comfortable. Sometimes, you must step into the light even if your knees tremble beneath you. And step into the light she did. The night of the pageant was thick with expectation. Under the soft glow of stage lights at the Marianas Beach Resort, the contestants shimmered in gowns and smiles, their polished poise masking nerves that churned beneath the surface. Among them stood Aria, her heart pounding like a war drum. She had told herself she didn't belong here, that this wasn't her world, yet here she was, standing tall, standing brave. As the evening unfolded, it became clear, Aria Keilbach was no ordinary contestant. When she took to the stage in the swimsuit competition, she did so not as someone desperate for applause, but as a woman reclaiming her confidence, embracing the body she had often doubted, the skin she had learned to love. When she walked out in her native costume, a lush, jungle-inspired ensemble complete with a rescued Boonie puppy cradled in her arms, she brought the audience to its feet. It wasn't just a fashion statement. It was a battle cry. A declaration that these forgotten creatures, these voiceless souls, deserved their place on the stage too. But it wasn't until the final question and answer segment that Aria's star truly blazed to life. Faced with a daunting question about climate change, waste management, and the environmental crises battering her island home, Aria didn't flinch. Her voice steady, her message clear, she painted a picture of Saipan's fragile beauty under siege, beaches eroded, oceans polluted, marine life threatened by human neglect. Yet, rather than despair, she offered hope. Small changes, she said, could lead to great impact. Individual choices mattered. And through her work with Boonie Babies, through community cleanups and advocacy, she intended to lead by example. Her words weren't rehearsed. They were lived, felt, believed. And in that moment, the judges and the world saw not just a beauty queen, but a leader. When the crown was finally placed on Aria Keilbach's head, it wasn't simply an adornment. It was a symbol of battles fought quietly, of courage found in unlikely places, of a girl who dared to believe she could make a difference. The title she took home that night spoke volumes: Best in Swimsuit, Miss Earth Environmental Leader. Honors not just for appearance, but for action. For heart. For purpose. Behind the scenes, tears flowed freely. Gratitude poured from Aria's lips as she thanked those who had stood by her: D. Clayton and Rosa Jost, the guiding hands of Miss Earth Northern Marianas. Mama Ernie, whose quiet encouragement had carried her through moments of doubt. Friends Shay and Emily, who transformed her nerves into beauty with every stroke of makeup and curl of hair. And Lauren Cabrera, a mentor, a sister in spirit, whose own journey from Miss Vermont USA to Saipan's Humane Society had inspired Aria to believe her dreams could also hold weight. But Aria's victory was never about personal glory. In every interview, every speech, she returned to her core mission. The environment. The animals. The community. She spoke of organizing roundups, of bringing people together not just to clean beaches, but to heal hearts. To reconnect with the fragile, breathtaking beauty of their island home. To understand that preservation isn't a task for tomorrow, but a responsibility of today. Her message resonated far beyond Saipan's shores. News of her win spread across social media, carried on waves of admiration and curiosity. Who was this girl with the soft voice and the fierce heart? This island advocate turned queen? The answer was simple: she was hope, wrapped in humanity. And so, as December approaches and Aria prepares to represent the Northern Marianas on the global stage in Manila at Miss Earth, the world watches not just with interest, but with anticipation. Because this is more than a competition. This is a movement. A story still being written. And Aria Keilbach? She's just getting started. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Humza Sabir, and you've been watching Mr. Darkman TV.